Hello, guys, and welcome to PRL Div 2 podcast, the first one of the season. I'm joined today by Mark.
Yes, indeed. You can't get rid of me. I know I'm in Division 3, but I thought I'd just hang around for a bit
Yeah.
and have a chat with you.
And speaking of Div 3, I thought before we get going, I thought I'd congratulate you.
Oh, thank you. It was a long time coming. I will be making a much bigger deal of it and perhaps being a lot less humble on the D3 podcast. But for this one, no, cheers. I appreciate that. And yeah, it was quite nice. I had a lot of nice messages last night. So yeah, no, it was good. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, yeah, I haven't watched it back, but all I know is you won, so.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what matters, isn't it, I suppose?
Yep. So, let's get on to, I guess, the real business of, well, we've got two races to cover. So,
Yep.
I guess we'll go through Australia first. So, we'll go through the qualifying result. Skeven took pole in the Haas, 19.8, which is pretty quick.
Yeah.
Then it was Poe, my teammate, in second. Shari in third. Lee in fourth. Waluigi in fifth. Army in sixth. Cloudy Balloons in seventh. Harry in eighth. YHYY in ninth. RJW in 10th. MCR in 11th. Bastos in 12th. And Tiggerby in 13th. It's quite a mixed up grid, to be fair.
Yeah, no, definitely. I suppose Bastos and and Tiggerby were trying to do something a bit different by the looks of it with their tyre choice. They were started on the super softs.
Yeah, Tiggerby surprised me being 13th. I thought he'd be a bit higher than that.
I don't know. He's an odd one. If he doesn't practice, he's not that quick. But when he does practice, he is a lot quicker. But yeah, I mean that grid is just, that grid is insane. To be fair, it doesn't surprise me that the battling's quite competitive in your division, because that is just that's a grid of people. Perhaps maybe actually, if I'm being a bit harsh, maybe not Cloudy, but that's a grid of people you'd expect to get sorry, Cloudy, but being honest, but that's a grid of people that would all get podiums in last year's D2.
Yeah. I could see, maybe Cloudy, but definitely the likes of Skeven, Poe, Jari definitely would have.
Yeah.
YHYY definitely. So yeah, some surprises, some not surprises. Like I was very poor.
He was a bit slower than I would. You seem to have lost a tiny bit of pace compared to last game, because you was frankly you were really slow.
Yeah.
And then you left and come back, and then you were like lightning quick. So I think maybe are you a bit, because I talked about this before with Robert last week on the D3 one, but I think there's certain drivers that grow into the games, and I think you're probably one of them, I would guess.
Yeah, I'm struggling with the tyre temps at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I have an excuse. Compared to last game, I actually I turned off the racing line for that race, and it didn't go very well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I turned it back on for Bahrain, which is, you'll see, is quite obvious, but yeah. The one,
yeah. Go on.
There weren't many incidents in quali really. It's quali, isn't it? So just I have to say Poe surprised me in quali, because last year, especially, he was probably my pace, if not slower. He's gone and pulled out a second on me. So yeah.
But no, I mean, to be fair, like you say, I mean, it's a while ago now, isn't it? So It's my fault, by the way, people. I was meant to do this last week with RJ, but I had some troubles getting back from Nottingham, so it's apologies if there's not much remembered, especially from my point of view because I wasn't there.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, I mean, what was the big talking points out of Australia then? You know, like generally, what was the mood like, and you know, was there any kind of big events? Because I think, you know, we'll go on to Bahrain, and there definitely was there. But yeah, you know, talk us through it.
I'd say there were a few, like, I'd say, incidents, but the first lap especially was a bit chaotic.
Right.
But for the rest of the race, it was a bit normal. Well, yeah, it was just straightforward for the rest of the race until lap 20. Was it 28 or 29? I can't remember. But yeah, I think if we move on to the race results now, it tells a different story from quali. Jari picked up the win. Lee picked up second. Peter was in third, and Peter started way down the order, so that was a great result for him. Waluigi was fourth. MCR was fifth. Army was sixth. Harry was seventh. YHYY was eighth. Skeven was ninth, and he didn't even finish.
Oh wow! Oh yeah! Oh, of course, yes, of course. Didn't he just completely throw it away on the last lap?
He was leading, and I think he was leading by quite a lot, because Lee was right behind him in second, and then picked with about, I'd say, 6 laps to go. So he was leading by, I'd say, 20 odd seconds, and then he crashed. I can't remember where. Might have been the last sector, I'm not sure. And he threw it all away. That was one of the major talking points, I'd say. Well, it had to be. He lost the lead of the race, but then again, let's move on. Tiggery was 10th, and then outside the top 10, we had the 4 non-finishers: Bastos, Cloudy, me, and Poe. So, I'm trying to remember what actually happened. The first lap, there was, I don't know if there was an incident, or I don't know if it was turn 1 or it was turn 3, but Poe started second and was out of the race by turn 5, I think. I don't know if he hit someone, but he got put in the wall on the exit of turn 4. I can't really remember, to be honest.
I heard murmurings of Harun. I need to get this guy's name right. Hariniorg. I think that's how you say it. Hariniorg. I think he had some issues with Bastos in Australia. I heard a murmur of that. I think there was contact or a dive bomb there.
I heard it, but I didn't see anything. Maybe it's because I was watching the front lot when I was in spectator cam. That was
it really. And then Skeven, but it seemed like, to be fair, you look at where everyone qualified, and you look at where they finished. It's almost like you just randomly pulled numbers out of a hat.
Yeah.
It's no correlation.
It was a horrible race for the Toro Rossos, because we talked about Poe, but come on to me now. Turn 1, just gone past. No, turn 1, lap 1, just gone past my teammate, who was beached in the wall, and go through turn 6, and I brake very early, and someone in front of me, I can't remember who. It might have been Bastos actually. No, it wasn't. Who was in the Haas? It was MCR. He braked earlier than me, broke my front wing, so I pit. And then I was trying to warm up my tyres for 5 laps. They still wouldn't warm up. Span out of turn 6 and turn 9 on lap 6 and crashed. So
think I did something I did something similar in my race, but it just seems. The one thing I'll say from this race is that I'm kind of glad, and no offence to Stephen, but we had a very similar thing with J Cole,
Yeah,
where he didn't win and he was miles clear. And I think it was good that actually, because he got moved up anyway, that it was probably good that you would think that his points total, even though we got two, I don't think it will affect any kind of title race now. Him not getting first. So no
yeah,
offence to Stephen, but I think the organisers got away with it a little bit with J Cole and Stephen, if
yeah,
I'm honest. But yeah, no, that was not good to see. If you know what I mean. That's all I
yeah.
would say with that.
Uh, it's not, yeah, not much to talk about other than that. Australia.
Mhm.
So, move on to Bahrain then. The grid. Oh, jeez. Um, the grid in Bahrain looked somewhat different.
Yeah.
As in, the top four either didn't qualify higher than ninth or didn't even qualify in Australia.
Mm.
Or didn't even turn up. V5 took pole with a 26-1. So some of the times in this were they were quick, but I think Div 3 were quite close to the times. So
There
I
was a
don't know.
bit of overlap.
Yeah,
There was a bit of overlap. I think you got. I think J Cole's lap, not J Cole. Sorry, apologies, not J Cole. Wave Intel's lap would have put him just behind Tiggerby. I think he did a 26.8, but I think it was higher than 1.817. I come fourth, and I would have come. Well, to be fair, actually, I would have come. The only person I'd have beat is
Bastos.
Bastos.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be some overlap, but
Mm.
I think it's always track dependent as well. And this seems to be a bit of a weird, like people's pace around here seems to get really, either some people just get rapidly quicker or kind of fade into the mix of people that they wouldn't normally be battling. I find people like Luigi, you wouldn't ever put Luigi as seventh quickest, I don't think,
Yeah.
around the track.
So, yeah, V5 took pole and Peter took second place. It was yeah, a very, very close margin. I think V5 on his last lap failed to improve, and Peter went only 2 tenths slow. 2 tenths, 2 thousandths slower than him. So just
Blimey.
missed out. YHYY was third, another 10th back, and then I took fourth place, 3 tenths back, and then we go fifth was Yari. Army was sixth, Waluigi was seventh. J Cole on his debut was eighth, so that was quite good. Tiggery was ninth, Cloudy was 10th, F1 Racer was 11th. That shocked me.
Yeah.
Him being down there, I don't know what happened there, but struggled a lot. Harry was 12th, and then Bastos was 13th, well and truly out of it in quali. Yeah, I heard something in the chat, but I can't remember what it was now. Someone in quali was blocking or something like that. I can't remember who it was, but someone didn't improve. It might have gone to the stewards, it might not have. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But the quali was the quali was really close in Bahrain.
Yeah.
The gap between first and second really sums it up. But from the top 12 are within a second of each other.
Yeah.
And the top 7 are within 5 tenths of each other. So.
And I think that's what this league was always intended to be. Just as a bit of a heads up for the D2 guys. I think we've talked about this before to somewhere, but I mean the reason why the D2 is a thinner grid is that all of you, all of you, I think, can race each other. Like legitimately, you would not look behind you and go, oh, that person's so much quicker than me, or look in front and go, oh, I'll get that guy by the end of the race. He's 7 seconds clear. Like, yeah, you're all very quick, but you're not. I almost see it as an improvement league. I know it sounds a bit bizarre, but if people can just find that little bit more edge, they'll find themselves in D1. I don't think there's much of a difference.
Yeah, and I guess that's what we saw not last season, the season before with the likes of Jaru.
Yeah, and
going
Kadek
up.
as well.
Yeah, and Kalik. Yeah. And
Race results look interesting.
Yeah, and it shows. Yeah, it shows for the ones that have come down from Div 1 to gives them incentives to improve, I guess, for the likes of like F1 Racer and Jara and YHYY. So
yeah, I mean F1 races. I think that smacks of someone who has been, in his mind, demoted, not practiced. Thought he could probably turn up, put his slippers on, and drive around people, and then had a bit of a shock. If I'm honest.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting race results. I know a few things about this, so I'm really keen.
Well, I got not a good view at the start. I don't know if anything happened at the start, but I definitely do know I went into turn 1 and someone dived. I was on the inside and someone dived up my inside. I don't know who it was now. Who was behind me? I think it was who was.
Would it be? It could have been Yari.
I think it was. I think it was Yari.
Okay.
I think it was because no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was Army because Jari was on my left, and he went round my outside because I got kind of T-boned in the middle. So
yeah,
the first big thing that happened was a crash on lap 2 involving the curbs and myself.
Yeah, it's so easy to do around.
It's ridiculous because I got the dirty air, went out wide onto that on the curb. Where is it? The X section in the the first one, going down the hill.
Yes.
And on the right hand side there's that curb.
Yeah.
And I drifted out too wide on that, and it's got like in the middle it's got the bumps, so I went flying over the bumps. Into the wall.
It's the bumpiest curb in the game.
Yeah.
It really took me out. It took me by surprise the first time I went over it. I think it's probably exasperated by most people run quite low ride height around Bahrain.
Yeah.
I think that maybe I don't know, but I guess that might have something to do. But I've practiced. I think everyone that's raced around Bahrain in practice has probably done exactly what you've done at some point.
Yeah. So, Peter, he told me what happened to him. He's actually at the other S section, going up the hill, and he gets to the corner. I think it's turn 13 at the hill before the straight, and it was something to do with it. I think he missed his brake pedal or something like that, and went. He sent me all the messages. Wait, let me read. Let me read it back. He Oh no! I remember what happened now. Actually, the inside curb of turn 12 on the right hander, he clipped that and went for a spin.
Yeah. They're the two places on the track, literally where you went and where he went. Where I think they're, I say the only two places, but they are like probably the two of the slippiest corners, along with like the inside curbs in Hungary and stuff like that. They're probably two of the worst corners in the game for that.
Yeah. It's they're going for realistic this year, but I think it's a bit
it's
insane.
Scary.
Yeah.
my last lap, I literally was just petering around. I was like, pardon the pun. I didn't literally say it, but I literally was like, just oh God, I don't know. I was so nervous. I was literally like, no, I'm not losing it. Because I think the level of concentration this year is a lot higher required. I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I remember. Right. There was a. I think there was a safety car that came out on lap. Oh.
20 was it?
It was around then, and it was caused by Cloudy Balloon's crash.
Oh,
Now,
what's Cloudy been up to, the madman? Shout out Cloudy if you're listening to this. Man's a box of frogs.
I was on board with this, and he drove into the wall several times, like in one go. He just kept going at this wall. I think it was at the end of this. Yeah, it was on the straight before the last corner, and he kept going into this wall, and then he decided to drive down the straight, and then turned right heavily into the wall. Took out about 3 braking markers into the wall, out of the race, and his car was just off the track at the last corner. And the safety car came out, and there was a lot. Obviously, most people did the 2-stop, but then there was Jari, V5, Bastos, and I think that was it. Who had already pitted. Well, they'd already pitted once, but they were doing the 1-stop, and they didn't need to pit again, so they stayed out. Whereas the likes of Army, J. Cole, Tiggerby all went into the pits and were right behind them on fresher tyres. It was about.
Did he purposely crash then? It sounds like.
I think he did. I have the perfect view of it. I think I've recorded it. I have the perfect shot of it.
Because I think that's interesting, because maybe not many people realise that, but there used to be the rule. I never understood last year when I was first playing in PRL, like people purposely crashing. I thought, what's the big deal? But Cloudy, I'm talking to you directly. There's a safety car now. You've just wrecked people's races. Like, assuming you have done this purposely, which by the sounds of hitting walls on straights multiple times sounds fairly unlikely to be completely accidental. If I was Yari, look, I mean, you know, he's clearly 1-stopped. We know he's got good pace. His lap time is what, half a second down on J. Cole with 2 stops. So he's obviously got a lot fresher tyres and also a lot less fuel on board when he had the last set actually fitted. I mean, this just smacks of Yari's race getting completely bombed because of that.
Where is it? Yeah. So the safety car. Everyone pit. Where was it? There was 2 incidents after the safety car that I know you. I think you know about one of them. Which I'm not sure which one it is, but you definitely know about one of them, don't you?
Yeah.
One of them was with V5, and I think it was Bastos.
No.
And the other was with Harry.
Yeah. What with and what's the Bastos?
Bastos.
An Army as well. There's a whole chain there. There's about 2 minutes long that I've seen, where it looks like everyone's having a bit of a. I don't know. It just looked chaotic, if I'm honest. But
yeah, there was also. I actually know there was another one as well. I think it was Harry and Jari. Which I think is the one that caused Harry to go out the race. I don't know if he clipped him, but he was out. I didn't actually get a shot at that, so.
There's one thing I do want to point out, because I do know about this, is that V5 did an absolute disgraceful dive bomb on one of the Mercedes. It's not Army and it's not Tiggerby who are the Mercedes drivers. It's the safety car. He managed
Oh
to hit the
no, I
safety
saw this. Yeah, he hit the safety car and got a penalty, didn't he? Oh, did he? Yeah,
Yeah.
he was talking about this. He was talking about this
Alright,
for so long.
he just works. I love V5. He's a cracking chap. The one thing he always manages to find defeat out of the jaws of victory.
Yeah,
Sometimes I never. What a way! What a way to wreck your race. I mean,
yeah.
I say wreck it. I mean, he still comes seventh. Which shows. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's only.
yeah. I don't. Yeah, he was actually first. No, he got overtaken at the safety car restart by Jari because they were 1-2, and then Bastos came along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on? Because Danny, the artist formerly known as Danny, was obviously my teammate last year. He's obviously changed his name on PlayStation Network to Bastos.
Yep.
And Danny's a really nice chap, by the way. For those of you that are new to the league, but it just seems like he's getting in loads of scrapes over the last couple of races, and I think a few people are a bit peeved at his racecraft, but which is really strange because genuinely, I don't think really anyone had any issue with him last year at all.
No, because I had Danny as a teammate in season 15.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, I didn't see anything wrong with him then. But this season, especially yesterday, yeah, some of his dive bombs were insane, especially into that hairpin in sector 2.
Right. Yeah.
I think everyone was braking early because it was just after the safety car, and he just went straight down the inside, and he got him. He went. That was the one where he went up the inside of his teammate.
Yeah, he kind of skipped Heriniag and went into kind of use YHYY as a bit of a cushion.
Yeah.
I have to say, obviously Heriniag's I think he's a steward for AOR.
Yeah.
So I've looked at some of the footage, and I know he was pretty peeved at what happened. I don't think he'd mind me saying that. But what struck me was that, because I don't think anyone's. How many years has it been potentially? Well, no, literally, it could have been well over a year probably since anyone's actually had to deal with a safety car restart. And it just looked a little bit like people. I think V5 didn't have a wing, so him and Yari looked a bit messy.
He lost his wing.
Yeah, so I think that was always going to look a little bit messy. You just had, and they were going really slow because I think Heriniag didn't realise that V5 maybe had lost his wing because he himself was going quite quick. I think he might have nicked a bit of his wing off, probably Jared. And I think there was just an element of frustration that creeped in. I think Army did a bit of a questionable move as well. I mean, shout out to Army for doing well, but the move on Heriniag was a little bit ambitious, but then Heriniag kind of completely opened the door. So I don't know. I just felt it was a bit messy, and I don't think there was, from my point of view, other than probably Bastos, I don't think there was anything to completely complain about, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I've just remembered something actually. I had a collision with Bastos actually early in the race. Because I went to the inside to cover him, so put on the brakes, slammed into the back of me. He didn't make us spin, but I'm pretty sure he lost some of his wing, and he was quite slow for the first stint, so I'm thinking he lost some wing, but he was just a bit lucky. He didn't ruin my race on lap 2, which ended like 10 seconds later, but I think yeah, the ending of the race
Mm.
was probably because it got to a point where it was, oh, there's a 5-way battle for this win, and it was
Yeah.
I think it was Jari leading at the time, and then it was J Cole, Army, V5 and then Tiggerby at that time, and it was about 6 laps to the end, and then V5
Yeah.
started to drop back because of the damage, so it was a 4-way battle, and then yeah, Jari seemed like he had damage as well, so those two got past Jari, the J Cole and Army, and Tiggerby just didn't really get close enough to make a move with Jari. I don't know if Tiggerby had damage either, but yeah. And then J Cole was actually leading, and then he got, I think it was the last corner? He got a penalty and lost the race.
No way.
I think it was the last corner, or it was the second last corner.
Wow.
Yeah. And he came second. I mean, it's still a great debut considering he was in Div 3 last week.
Yeah.
And he won the race on track. So, I think, I have also something to say about stewards, I think. Oh god, my computer's bugging out. It's about something from Australia, actually. YHYY has got a 2-point penalty. I can't remember what for, but yeah.
I don't know what incident that was. Yeah, you are right. I think he there was some kind of chaos early on. I forget what it was about, but I remember seeing that. It's just about the one point I just want to make. It's really interesting that you look at the finishers. You've got if you exclude V5, in the sense that obviously something weird happened to him, but you've got Luigi getting beat by Bastos and Tiggerby and Army, and they were way slower than him last season. And you've got YHYY and F1 Racer who were in Division 1. Again getting it handed to them by people that were a lot slower than last game. So this game's definitely really mixed up the status quo.
Actually, F1 Racer lagged out.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. And he still got P9. That's how much was going on. And yeah, YHYY broke his wing about 3 times. So had to pit.
Yeah, he did stop a few times, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it looks very interesting already from in regards to a title race. Who do you think's kind of doing well so far? Because I imagine it would be. I mean, who would be leading? Sorry, I can't get the Division 2 results for some reason.
Let's have a look, shall we? No, I think before the season I predicted Skeven was going to win, and obviously Skeven now can't win. So it looked like it was going to be the Toro Rossos in the championship fight. No, not the Toro Rossos. Glory hunting again. The Force Indias. That's the word I want. Yeah, it looked like they were going to have it. I think Jari's leading the way.
Yeah, he's got 40 points.
And then I think it's who's going to be second out of them. It might be Army. Yeah, I think Army's second. And then
big old gap already.
Yeah, like you've got Jari on 40, and then there's me. I think F1 Racer because lagged out. Cloudy. Yeah, we're all on 0, so
yeah,
there's a big gap.
Yeah, no, there's again. I imagine that the league will be very tight I'm honest, all the way through. I imagine that a lot of people. I think it's dangerous though if it's giving Jarry a lead. He's a bit of a determined so and so from
Yeah.
experience. I think he tends to do well leading from the front, and his confidence gets up. But yeah, you touched upon teammates. I tell you, there are some funny teammates in this division.
Yeah, definitely.
Some really funny combinations, not ones that I was expecting to see. If I'm honest.
Army and Tiggerby, I get that.
Hmm.
Harry and J. Cole, I think, yeah, J. Cole was just put in there. Harry didn't actually have a teammate, so.
I think they're friends. They actually wanted to get. They wanted to be teammates when J. Cole. We were thinking of having them, J. Cole in Division 2. I think initially they were going to be teammates. And that they do. I know that they. I think they might have raced in AOR or I don't know, but yeah, I know that they get on. But the one that really surprises me is Jarry and V5.
Yeah, that gets me. I didn't think they kind of. I don't know if they got on well but I think they're just going for the constructors by the looks of it.
Yeah, no, V5 tends to get on well with everybody, to be fair, and but they're white of a sharp end. I don't know if I'd be picking someone. I mean, I don't understand because a lot of these people are a lot of the teammates are about as quick as each other.
Yeah,
that's what confuses me. I mean, that's going to happen in your division because all the gaps are small. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'd be going after. I think the most sensible one is Luigi and Cloudy Blooms. But
I was about to come to that. I was a bit confused about that one, but I can now see why. Because compared to last game, Cloudy was quite far off Waluigi, but this game the gap is a lot closer.
Yeah.
We've
got the silent but quick Renaults of YHYY and Bastos.
Silent.
Just both stoic characters.
The Haas team is. Well, F1 Racer was just put in there, but it looks like a decent team, but compared to where once again compared to where they were last year.
Who's the other Haas?
MCR.
Oh, okay, yeah.
McLarens. I'd say the McLarens are about on the same level. They've got Simsai and Lee, but Simsai hasn't actually raced yet. So
yeah, Simsai is not a huge fan of high attendance.
Yeah. Who have we not mentioned? Red Bull.
You.
Peter
you as well. Peter.
Yeah, I'm the only one on my own now. So, we got Peter. Yeah, Poe has left after I don't know, maybe 3 minutes of the race. But yeah.
Oh, that's not good. Was it any particular reason? Or?
It was after the crash. I think he just gave up.
Right.
That's by the seems of it. But yeah, Peter and Don Davey. Well, Don Davey hasn't turned up, but I know how quick he is. He's all right, but I don't know if he's race winning potential. But Peter definitely seems like he is. From the performances he's shown, he definitely, if he gets the chance, he will take it. So, and then there's me on my own. So, I might just move to the Williams. I'm that far behind at this point.
I don't know. There's just some interesting teams out there. I think it's a competitive league. I hope we do retain numbers in the division because it's sad to see someone go. That's my only. We are a little bit understaffed. If I'm honest, it's not ideal. But the problem is the gap between. I suspect next season that the division will be a lot bigger.
Yeah.
I would hope that a few people from D3 close the gap to the back of D2. I think there was evidence of that a little bit in Bahrain, that there is a little overlap, which is nice to see. But I think it needs to. I'd like to see a little bit more of an obvious overlap. Personally, it's not an organiser thing. That's just me speaking my opinion. And hopefully we get a bigger grid. But again, keeping the lack of variety in pace. But how do you guys find driving in it though? Because it's one thing not being in it and saying, "Oh, it's really good because they're all as quick as each other." But I remember, when season 15. I think my second race was in China. Oh no, my first race or second, I forget which one it was. Was in China and there was 11 people. It does take away a little bit.
Yeah, because I remember my first race was in Bahrain season 15 and there was 13.
Yeah.
Oh no, maybe there was only 13 that made the flag because I was 13th and I remember it, but I'm not sure. It was about 13, I think. Yeah. So it wasn't many.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Me and you were battling. This shows how quick we've.
I was so far behind.
This shows how quick we've come, because me and you we were catching Fab 10 Fitness, who is not the quickest of men at Formula One. He's not playing anymore, but me and you were the last two on track around Bahrain in our first ever race.
I think I was the only one. I don't know if you got lapped, but I definitely got lapped.
I definitely got lapped.
Yeah, it was back in the days when I used to use all assists, and a cockpit cam. So that was about a month after I picked up the game for the first time
and
ever.
I had I had chase cam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the days. Good.
Back in the day. Indeed.
Back in the day.
But yeah, no, I mean, how do you find the short? How are you finding Division 2 from your point of view? What seems to be the vibe from the short?
The quali is quite stressful because obviously it's that close. You'd never know what position you're ever gonna get. So,
yeah.
But the race is it's enjoyable because you can actually race them, and you know they're around your level, so you're always gonna have a difficult time.
Yeah, no, good. So, I think it's good to hear that people are actually enjoying. And the only downside, I think it would have been a bigger downside in Division 3 particularly, and probably also Division 1. I mean, just having 13 in Division 1 would be a bit nuts. But yeah, anything you wanna add to this illustrious first ever, or I suppose first ever, not first ever Division 2 podcast.
First of the season.
Yes.
I guess maybe if we look forward to China, predictions, or is it too early?
No, I think it's fine. I mean, it's very early.
Well, I'd say pole and then top 3.
Okay. Go on, you go first.
Well, I'd say probably. I think I'm always going to go with him, but Jari for pole, and then I'd say top 3. I'd probably say Jari, or YHYY, and V5.
Okay. I'm going to say V5 for pole. But yeah, I mean, you can pretty much flip a coin, I reckon, most weeks, and you probably get it right half the time between him and Jari. I'm going to say something a bit weird here in my prediction. I'm going to guess it rains.
Ooh.
And if it rains, I'm going to say that Luigi wins, because he's very quick in the rain last game.
Yeah.
Because it does. I think it's quite likely to rain in China as well, from what I've seen so far in the career mode. So I'm going to say Luigi first. Gary second, and Lee Findlay third. Forget about Lee, but he's a very quick driver. He was on the cusp of Division 1.
Yeah, it's a good job we didn't go anywhere near me. But anyway, I think that just about wraps it up. So we should be back next week.
Yes.
Should.
Yes.
Not 100%, but
I've not got any crazy work conferences to do, so yeah, I won't be relying on public transport as much. So yeah, hopefully all goes well. But yeah, I'd love to join you. But no, if I can just say one thing real quick, I'd love not to do this. I love talking loads of stuff about drivers. I know because I know most of the drivers in D2. But if anyone wants to take my place for next week, you are more than welcome. You're more than welcome. But yeah, because it'd be lovely to see two guys from D2 having a chin wag rather than
Diffry's enough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind. It's only half an hour or 40 minutes of my day, but I just think it would be a better dynamic if, someone can assist you really. If I'm honest.
Yeah. So yeah, anyone. I'll take anyone. But yeah, so that's going to be it for this podcast covering the first 2 weeks. We will be back after China, after round 3, next weekend. I don't know if it'll be Saturday or Sunday, but yeah, so we'll be back for the next one next week.